Hello, hello. Hi. Welcome in. Welcome back. Eccentric Sunshine Tarot. It's morning. I have a lot of work to do today from 9 to 5, so I wanted to get this recorded. I don't know when I'm going to stop working once I start beyond this. But I also felt some energy this morning upon opening my eyes, sharing, or my loved one shared a dream they had, and I had my own, but there was nothing to really share because I couldn't remember details. The only thing I can remember is my morning thoughts, and the reason why I'm sharing this with you now, because I think it'll get into it does get into what I want to talk about. But my morning thoughts were fear and silence, or fear and silence. And I've said this before for those that have watched any videos. For those that haven't, welcome. Thank you. For those that have just started subscribing, thank you. For those that like the videos, thank you. Believe it or not, liking videos actually helps to spread any of the messages further for the collective. You don't have to if you don't like it. That is perfectly fine. If you don't want to subscribe, also perfectly fine. If you subscribe and you're like, oh yeah, no, she's really not, I'm not digging her, that's also perfectly fine. But I'm here, because if someone needs to hear the message that comes through, that's my only purpose. Anyway, so morning thoughts: fear in silence or fear and silence. The difference between fear and intuition, they can often feel the same. Assumptions, making assumptions, okay, and then being in the shadows. So especially assumptions that you make while in the shadows. And then an overarching message that was like, you have to up your own vibration. Like, no one can do this for you, but you can remember that you're not alone in this. So the other day, I don't know, I didn't do a video yesterday, I don't think, right? Like I did a personal reading for myself. Yeah, no video yesterday. So the other day, what came out strongly was like, you're the responsible one for your life, for your steps, your actions. They're yours. But that doesn't mean that you're alone. So whether you have a person that is physically in your space, in your realm, friends, family, intimate partner, relationship, etc., co-workers, whatever, or if that doesn't apply to you, you have a community, you have the collective. So you are responsible for upping your own vibration. No one else can do this for you, but you can remember that you're not alone. There is a hand to be held, whether energetically or literally or both. Okay, so that's that. And then I went back to some of the astrologers that I follow. And I don't think I said her name last time, but Pam Gregory. So if you look at my subscriptions on the channel, you'll see her channel. There's some great information out there. So I went back to her, and then there's another astrology channel. Well, there's two others, I believe, that I subscribe to. And again, it was just one of those mornings I needed to hear. I don't know why. I just needed to hear a thing or two. And so I did. So, well, I do know why. Today's the full moon. And I'll put that in the title somewhere. So full moon in Gemini today, tonight, into tomorrow, depending on where you are in the world. Full moon in Gemini. So with this full moon, there's definitely shadows that are outside of the path here. And there's fear and shadows a lot of times, but remember that the moon is highlighting these areas of what we would call deception even. Because shadows, the mind can play tricks on us, right? But also with other planetary activity, this is a time of unconditional love and acceptance. So while there's these highlights of the shadows and potentially deception, you also have this path that is lit, and in this path, on this path, is this, whether for the self or others for you, whatever, a time of unconditional love and acceptance. You have to work for which end of the spectrum you want to fall on, because it is like a spectrum. A lot of people, in fact, some of the other readers who are more into the astrology than I am, are highlighting this North Node in Pisces and South Node in Virgo. And so there's this potential for this, not just potential, I mean, you're going to kind of fall, and I'll get into that, onto one side or the other. The goal is to be neutral, is to be dead center of this, because that's our balance, is to be both, always to be both. But there's this positive aspect for expansion, especially emotional, heart center, consciousness, expansion. And then there's this, what we can consider a negative. I don't really like negative and positive, but of the South Node in Virgo, which can be falling to this perfection in such a way. There's a high vibration of that, but the lower vibration, that's probably a better way to say it, is perfection in such a way that you're not being present and you're missing this opportunity for the continued growth because you're so focused on these details. I will be interested to see if the devil comes out today, for a couple of reasons, but devil in the details, that also has been heavy on my mind, as it was in some other readings. So anyway, you have to work for which end of the spectrum you'd rather lean towards. The goal is, of course, dead center. So be open to seeing and to receiving. That message came out strong for what I was getting from everyone else's interpretation of what's going on in the universe. There's a necessity to release, therefore, in order to be close to any point of neutrality. You will. A lot of people have already been working on this, but it's now necessary. You've got to unload. Seven of Swords, take what you can carry, leave the rest behind. There's a call to this action, okay? Between now and the solstice, December, is it the 19th? It's the 19th through the 22nd, somewhere in there, 23rd. I think it's the 21st, isn't it? I don't know, but somewhere in there is winter solstice. And this is from Pam Gregory. There is this period is the karmic choice, okay? This is the astrological time we are in right now, a full moon to the solstice. Really all of December into January. Do you move forward or go back to the same cycles you've always stayed? That's the karmic choice. A choice that will have to be made. You don't have a choice but to make the choice, okay? Like that is in a sense taken away from you because the will is moving. So devil, Seven of Swords, will. I'm very interested to see, especially on today, if these come out. But there's no getting around it. For many people, whatever that choice is, it was already made prior to when we were in this. Well, I'll get into that in a second. So it was already made. So now it's about the plan that you'll take action to start implementing, okay? If you made a choice and don't move, the wheel is turning, like I said, and you're going to get pushed back and to repeat. Or you're going to move forward to the next step. It's really what it's coming down to. Either way, the choice had to or will have to be made, okay? There's a period, in other words, of like this transmutation, staying in the shadows, low vibration kind of, or do what you set out to do and step into the cracks of the light, the path that is illuminated. Remember that this is also, well, not also, this is about for the good of one to the ill of none. That's my saying. But when you understand this thing more, you can't see how or why necessarily, but when you're walking from heart center, the good of one to the ill of none, and your heart is then illuminated. It's the illuminated beat of your soul, in my opinion. This eventually means that this choice that you're making is also not only for the good of one, but it is for the good of many in that sense. You're walking from heart center, even in the moment if you don't feel that, okay? Trust that, walking from heart center. Because this choice that moves you will then impact others now or later. And that's how that happens. So even in that moment, if somebody doesn't like the choice that you're making, or if somebody feels like it's unfair, or somebody's in their shadow state, whatever it is, but it will push things forward regardless to where it ends up being for the good of many. That's a collective truth in my opinion. So this period really is about activation of higher self in that sense. Specifically with this full moon, the North Node in Pisces, like I said, a period of purification, incubation. So Pam talks about the purification aspect. She talks a little bit about incubation. So I'm looking at this as a whole as a period of purification, incubation. before the action period at the end of December into January. Into February, but it's really that end of December, January where that step has to be made, whatever that is. Also, there's a wider sense. She mentions all of this in some form or fashion, so definitely go take a look at her page if you're into the astrology side. She mentions this wider sense of family beyond the biological. So what I take that to mean, along with some other things that are going on again in the universe where the planets are aligning, this really is about not only finding your tribe, but uniting with your tribe. And it is imperative for the person that is choosing to take the step. Okay. Lastly, this month into February is the action period that sets up for the individual and the collective evolution through 2027. Every step, in other words, is leading to the next. It sounds cliche, but it's really true, as it always does, unless you try and stay still. And for that person that is trying to stay still, because of fear, because of the shadows, because of the assumptions, this is the potential deceit, okay? Like, the shadows are not actually monsters, but if you're fearful and you're trying to stay, for whatever reason, to figure out those details, when you should be just stepping forward because you already made the choice. So this can become your own personal purgatory, in a sense, on Earth, if you try and stay still. You're still going to move, but you're going to move in those shadows, and you're going to repeat cycles that you may have been trying. And I would assume for those that are watching videos like this, to change and or move forward and or grow spiritually, okay? So only you can move yourself out of that. And right now is the time. This is, again, the decision was already made. There's this purification, incubation, and it's not that long because it's about to be and move. To be sure, we've all been facing shadows, by the way, since September into November, especially Scorpio period. We had to go into and really explore this kind of dark side of the moon for many of us, to decide, to make that choice, whatever that choice was. And now the light is coming in. And it's through cracks and bits and pieces, and it's kind of hard, especially for those of us that are getting ready to go into winter, to imagine this, but it's real. This is on a level of consciousness that I don't think many of us have ever seen before, and we're feeling it. The energy, I talked about that the other day, is really ramping up, and if you just take a beat, you could feel it. Or if you just kind of pay attention to the things that you get really worked up about, the anxiety, etc. But yeah, so now the light is coming in, and the choice into act on that or not, it's also coming. Again, that's not going to be, there won't be a choice in having to make the choice. So, and then the last thing that she talked about was magnetic resonance, and I think that's a term to me that sums it all up. So, that being said, I felt the need to do a reading this morning, and I want to, and I think we're gonna go to, what are we gonna use? What deck do I use? I need to start. Y'all should start putting comments in there too. For those that are watching more frequently, if you see a deck that you like, even if you can't remember the name, or if I forgot to say the name, say, hey, the one that looks like whatever, and I'll use that deck. I think I want to go with the Grand, what is this one? Tarot Grand Lux. Yeah. It's a bit of a twist on the basics. I like some of the more realistic card decks. Sometimes I just get a better feel, I should say, for the message that's trying to come out. So anyway, we're going to use this for our foundational reading. Goddess, God's universe, thank you for everything that you do. Thank you for being here with us. Thank you for guiding us. Thank you for backing up when we need to do the things ourselves. Right now is a period of that. I really do believe that. If there's any messages that we are allowed to receive, please allow them to come through the cards and by extension through me. We thank you for everything. Goddess, God's universe, my guides, my spirit guides, can you help me do this, please? one card at a time. That would be great, so I can potentially better understand what it is you're trying to tell me. Let's do it. Thank you. That's way too many. One card at a time. This is December 4th, full moon in Gemini. What messages are we allowed to receive? What should we know to help us move forward on this journey? There's an Ace of Cups. A new beginning in love, a new opportunity in love, a new opportunity in love for the self or another. A new opportunity for self or another. There's fish, multiple fish. This could be about the collective. Hello. Four of Swords, purification, incubation, potentially. The rest period, dream state. Dream state. We started that. A new love opportunity. Creativity even. I'm saying creativity because not many of us are rolling around with swords and armor and horses, knights. So creativity is strong right now with things going on, but this is a new love opportunity, perhaps that you've been dreaming about. Or that you need to rest up for, because that's a Knight of Swords. I mean, it is the sword. Queen of Wands. This is also the Psychic Queen. She's also seduction. Can be. Page of Cups. There's an innocence here. This is another potential. I mean, pages and aces are very similar. So lots of potential for love. There's a message to be received, perhaps in your dream state. In fact, it is advised right now while we're going through this state of, again, I'm just going to keep, I'm not going to say it, purification, incubation, purification and incubation, to keep a dream journal. There's messages that can be received there. But a message being received and or shared. Definitely innocence, a time of innocence. This is Six of Cups. Remembering the things that bring you joy. Seven. Okay, it's another page. This is on top. Page of Pentacles. Innocence is very strong in this reading. The baby doe with the butterfly. Exploration here. Exploring more of the inner self. Exploring more of another person. Again, messages and gifts, whether to receive or to give. And I feel like there's a bit of remembering what's worth fighting for. This is Seven of Wands for protection or offense or defense. But I feel like this is about remembering what is worth fighting for. Coupled with these more innocent, loving, even nourishing. I mean, with the Page of Coins, you know, it's very earth. Hierophant. Remember what's worth fighting for. Hierophant, an ordained. The sun, it's exalted. Okay. This is from a higher, above your pay grade in the universe. New beginning again, new opportunity, passionate. There's a lot of gold, fiery colors in these two cards with that Queen of Wands. Remember what's worth fighting for. This was ordained before you even came. And I feel like that's a yes card. Nine of Coins. This is stability. Having everything that you need and want, tangibly speaking. There's trust in this as well. A new opportunity. That's way too many. A new opportunity. Financially. Okay. Trust in this. Emperor. Very secure. A lot of responsibilities. And the choice. What's funny is I was going to say very secure in his decisions and choices. It has to be. Two of Wands, a path. Devil in the details, what I say. Oops, sorry. Shoot. Devil in the details. Path that was chosen. Path that is illuminated. And then comes the balance. This is minor arcana for temperance or justice, depending on how you look at it and depending on the temperance card. So we'll just say justice because of the scales, Libra. Six of Pentacles is, you see this one is weighing more, and then they're about to put another in here to balance the scales. So this is a matter of a choice, the details in balancing the scales, what needs to be done, the action that needs to be taken. For some of you, it's a matter of balancing your energy. Definitely the work you're putting into things. Eight of Coins. So we go from heavy cups to heavy earth here. Making something tangible. The opportunity here to make something tangible. This could be about a work situation as well. But for this full moon in Gemini, what is, well, let's see. That's the end of this message here. Then you have Queen of Pentacles and the 5. So work, tangible, sitting in a Queen of Pentacles is, she is a master of her physical environment. Also minor arcana for the Empress, and we already have the Emperor. And then we have 5 of Pentacles. So feeling like the coin is possibly not being shared, feeling like having to give too much, but it's also 5, which is change. To Queen of Swords. Sitting in the truth. Perhaps the work that's being put in and the lack, and then knowledge. We have the Queen of Wands here too. So we have 3 queens and then Judgment, which is a type of rebirth. Okay, this is going into the new life, being called to the new life, being called out of the shadows. So I feel like that's the knowing. Again, going to what's going on, back to what's happening astrologically speaking. You have to be called out of the shadows, and you have to do this. You've got to remember what you're fighting for. It is not easy. So whoever this message is for, you could be tired and having a hard time picking yourself back up. But the 9 of Wands are here. The Wounded Warrior. That's way too many. Oh, no. Three of Cups. There's a moment of celebration and joy here. And perhaps it's not so easy because the head is turned from this. It's not so easy to see that. I need one more for this message. And that's for the King of Wands. So we have a pair here. King and Queen of Wands. For the masculine, potentially... So for some, we have been getting the last few readings a lot of masculine, about the masculine needing to take action and needing to be the one that is sitting. The King of Kings needs to be the one that is secure in their decisions, to secure in the steps that they need to take. And looking at this here, from passion to tangible, grounded, to sitting in the truth, secure in the knowledge that they have, the feminine here, knowing that this is a pure love. I kept saying innocent, but there's purity in innocence, right? So hang with me here. There's almost this sense of this changeover that's happening from the grounded to the, no, this is how it's going to be, and underneath this Emperor. Okay, this could be for one person, this could be for a couple. This feminine, or the other side, the balance that we're trying to get to, balance, new life called out of the shadows, could be the one that's having to do the fighting to remind this King of Wands, this other side, this masculine, right? The devil's in the details, yes, but all you got to do is give to this other side. All you got to do is take that step. So while this is earth and it's not a wand, but we have wands, we have little swords. All you got to do is take this step to create this balance. And this Queen of Swords is very much like, I'll show you the way. I'll tell you. Psychic Queen, tangible action. What I want to do is I want to clarify, because there's not a lot of major here. I mean, we have the Hierophant. We don't have any, right? The Emperor, the Devil, Judgment. Yes? Yes. And so today, as we go into this full moon, this could be where you could be exhausted. You could really feel exhausted. But the choice was already made. In fact, I almost feel like this is the devil's in the details, but this is the action. Like you have to put that coin in that other side. There's not a choice here. Remember, there's not a choice unless you're going to stay. And there's a lot of work being done, so I don't feel that. But with this Nine of Wands, this wounded warrior, you may be having a moment where you're like, I don't know if I can do this, right? Like, how do I do this? And I think that this is where the Queen being called out of the shadows or maybe even be calling the King out of the shadows. Perhaps vice versa, okay? This King could be sitting here going, hello, we're good. Cheers, right? It could be a matter of joining with friends, even like taking yourself out of this exhaustion and wounded warrior and saying, let's have a drink. I mean, it could be that literal. I want to clarify. It could be that literal. And I think the gold and black. Yeah, gold and black here. But it starts with the opportunity of love. Self-love, self-healing, perhaps even. There's definitely some rest in the purification, incubation period, okay? The incubation that is necessary in order to share, give, receive, give and receive. You have to be open to receiving. That is also very strong, and I feel like it's confirmed here. You have to be open to receiving. And you can fight it all you want to, but this was Again, this is divine. It's above your pay grade. So then there's another opportunity here. Passionate, fiery. We have all the signs. Yes. I mean, we've got water in spades here. You have the ace, the page, the 6 of cups. So we have water, we have earth, we have air, and we have fire. Lots of earth and fire again. That seems to be happening a lot. This could be about season. Oh, yeah. And I keep forgetting that. So for those that are looking for something to happen right now, remember we are in Sag. We're like barely in Sag. But at the end of December, we will be moving into Capricorn season. And this may be when the balance really takes place, when there's that movement that takes place. There's research that's going into perhaps balancing of the books, needing to see just how much giving and receiving needs to take place in order for this to happen. Judgment is an action card. Again, called out of the shadows. Shadows? No, shadows. And the wands, the 9 of wands, I mean, that's action. There's a lot of action that's been taking place. So it's almost like quick. December could be less of incubation for many of you and more of really quick action. So you could be exhausted by this time period, and then there's a moment of joy. So what I want, whoa, why? So silly. Okay, this was when I first picked up the deck, it was on the bottom, and so this was on top right here. I'm going to put it back in and see if it wants to come out. The balance, what I say, balancing and choices. Balancing and choices. I'm going to put these in the middle. All right. I want to know what's the Queen of Wands' purpose here? Okay. I'm going to put it back because I didn't finish my question, but the sun, again, fire. What's the Queen of Wands' purpose here? I want to know more about the Queen of Wands with this Page of Cups, who is also an action figure. Queen of Wands and the Page of Cups. 4 of Cups. An offer. So you really need to... I mean, again, I said be open to receiving. Can I have another one? There is an opportunity here. That's 1 cup that's being shared from the universe. The Queen of Wands. The Queen of Wands. With 10 of Swords and 10 of Wands. Open to receiving, end of struggle, end of pushing. The final push could be painful. Okay. For what? Into the Page of Cups and 6 of Cups. For what? Justice. The balance. Legal. The fight of your life is what I just heard. And it's... But it's an end. It's an end to pain. It's an end to struggle. There's justice here. For those that know, the sacrifices have already been made. This is the period of the new beginning. Everything you need and want. And this absolutely can be for the self. So, let's get into... the perfect alchemy. And earlier I said this 6 of Pentacles was this minor for temperance and justice, and I was like, but you know, temperance, it depends on the card. So here's the balance. It's definitely the balance. All right, so The Hierophant here, what's this Hierophant for? The King of Pentacles. So now we have another pair here. We've got Queen of Pentacles, King of Pentacles. The Hierophant. What's this Hierophant for? King of Pentacles. The Hierophant. Union of self or in with another. Divine. Okay. So I think this message is for an individual right now, okay? This was about going in, doing the inner work, all right? It could be Virgo. I mean, you have King of Pentacles, also an earth sign, heavy Virgo in that sense. This came out the other day as well. Lots of Pentacles, so this could absolutely be about earth signs and or just the tangible and or going within. They hold the star outside of themselves. They go within and then they are guided by this inner light. Okay, and I'm saying the reason why I said for the self, I'll get there. King of Pentacles, Hierophant, this balance of self, okay, the perfect alchemy, having to get there, having to align oneself for a victory and transformation. Death card. For a victory, success, pushing forward, again, action. This is movement and transformation. So then we have the Emperor, which I feel like this is what this opportunity is led into, who's made a choice. So tell me about this Devil card with the Six of Coins. I've got this Temperance. There's this perfect alchemy, justice. Two of Wands is being confirmed. This Emperor, Two of Wands, Devil, the Devil, the Devil. The Devil is in the details. What's the Devil doing here? Try again. To the Balance. Is this season? Is this Capricorn season? Goddess, God's universe, my guides, can you give me, is this a timing card or is this about action? Talk to me about the Devil. Sorry, in the details. Call to action. I do have Judgment here. The call to action. The Devil is in the details. Yeah, I think it's, well, let's see. Ten of Cups. What makes you happy? Fear. So here's these ends of the spectrums, right? Where I said, like, so you have the South Node in Virgo, which is like all the details, Devil in the details, which can trap you. But you have this North Node in Pisces, which can be everything. It's that evolution. It's that, it's that higher self evolution of emotional, well, in this case, bliss, everything you want, but the choice, Devil in the details, okay? And then you have this King of Cups. So now we've got King of Wands, King of Pentacles. We have the Emperor. So this is the emotional self, which I think this is where we're leading from heart center. Devil in the details, making the choice, and that's the movement. Devil to the, so this is the balance. This is the balance, what you're feeding, which side are you feeding? This is definitely, I think, again, for the person who is in their masculine, King of Pentacles, King of Wands, Emperor. I mean, we have Queens too, but I think this is about the balancing of the two. Moving away into healing, heart center. Oh, I said heart center. Mourning, Ace, Wounded Warrior. It's exhausting, but it's movement, and it is definitely happening with cautious optimism. It's moving forward either way you look at it. That Nine of Wands to the Page of Swords. Just want a little bit more here. Going into the Eight of Coins. The Devil. Is this a time? Oh, I did ask if this was a time period. Can I get one more card? Is this time period or action? I do believe this is action. But time period or action? That Ace of Pentacles can also be considered a minor for the sun because the star, the pentagram, representative of a star, and the sun came out earlier. With the Three of Swords into that 5, which is the morning period, into the Ace, this is morning, new day. Period of exhaustion, again, incubation, but it feels exhausting, but then there's like, okay, and then we step. Step, rest, hold on. Three of Pentacles, Seven of Cups, working together to sift through. So I believe, I mean, again, Pentacles and Cups, time period or action, because the choice had to be made. What about these? Sorry. Action into research, Three of Pentacles into that. That is the closing of the cycle. Closing and beginning of the cycle, because this is where I wanted to go. What is this in reference to? Love, money, friendships, work. A decision being made to move forward, working together, sifting through the options. Let's say, rest, move, Hangman. Rest, move. Look at it and then go. For what purpose? Oops, I keep doing that. Devil. All right. I'm going to ask with another deck of cards. I want to finish this one, Goddess, God's Universe, my guides, because I need, like, you're telling me the same thing back and forth. And maybe this is for the person who is going back and forth. It could be a lot of that going on right now in this illuminated incubation. I don't know. This could be the end of that, the end of waiting, and now it's time to move. That's the, okay. Now it's time to move. There you go. I like it when I'm confirmed. You gotta go. This is movement. The Devil is the action card. So can you tell me, is the Devil action? Whoa. And moving towards, so Six of Swords to the Six of Cups. That's beautiful. Moving quickly past the 5. That's what I heard, quickly past the 5. The 5 is the change. The decision was made. The call to the new life. And so then I want to get into the Three of Cups, into the King of Wands. So we've got Wounded Warrior, Nine of Wands, Three of Cups, King of Wands. So call to the new life, call of action. What's the Three of Cups here? I say, what's the Three of Cups here? And if you hear my stomach, oh my gosh, I am so hungry and I should have ate. Sometimes eating. Yeah, King of Wands again. Okay. And what's his call to action? It, like I said, wands they are action. This is quick. This is perhaps there's some anger, but I really feel like this is quick movement that takes place after this period. So I'm gonna say timing card. Can I get a timing card, please? The Devil. Is this Capricorn? Is this December? Is this January? The Lovers. All right. The Lovers. I need to look that up real quick. The Lovers. Isn't the Lovers some... Why do I feel like Lovers is sad? Also Gemini. I mean, there's twins here. It could be two halves of the whole. I shouldn't have shown you that. Remember, tarot cards are art. Opportunity and gift. All right. It is brand spanking new in that sense. Brand new opportunity. Because again, pages are also my aces. But there's gift and message here, a sharing. And it is something about something about a gift or message of union after going through a very transformative period. And again, the decision that was made. So I want to know also for someone, can I get, actually, let's do this one. Nope, I want this one. So we're going to do the traditions. I shouldn't tell you. The devil's on the bottom here too. So this is... I know like a few days ago I was getting the devil card and I was like, oh, it's, you know, all roads to hell are paved in good intentions, right? Because that was definitely a message for somebody. This is heavy for me. Details, decisions that were made, action, heavy action, quick action even. You know, there's the ace, there's the 2, and then we've got 6 and 7 and 9. And it's exhausting. That's probably why there's this period of rest that's necessary. Illuminated, incubation, purification, incubation. This moon is definitely going to be highlighting a lot in many areas of your life with somebody specifically in work. Okay, because there's a lot of pentacles here too. So it's necessary for whoever needs that message. Maybe it's time to decide, are you going to do this and for how much longer? And or is it time to move into a new phase? And or is it time to get serious? Because I see a lot of like, get serious. The devil is in the details. It's time to hunker down, if you will. So I want to know about the devil card that's showing up. A time period here. Closing of this chapter of just hanging around. Is what I'm hanging around, waiting, trying to see, because you already saw the path that you're walking towards. Devil's in the details. Now it's time to move. Okay. So for the devil in the details card, is this a timing card or an action card? Let's start very simply. My guides. The devil card. Timing, as in Capricorn, end of December, January. Or action. We have 4 of Wands, the Bon Voyage. There's the travel cards. Okay, timing or action. Those cards flipped twice. And the Emperor. And is the Emperor staying rooted? Or is this about the Emperor taking action? Definitely giving. See, handing the cup. 6 of Cups. Is this a timing or action? Giving. So I'm going to say action because this is about giving and receiving. Working together. We're getting all the repeating cards. Work. From 3 of Pentacles. Working together to walking away. Walking away from something. Whoa. Quickly. There we go again. Is this job or love? Whoa. And there's, I knew eventually. I mean, we have a lot of cards on the table here, so let's not get too excited, but with repeating cards, and then finally Say finally. The wheel is moving regardless. So this is about movement. This is definitely about action. The devil's in the details. It is about taking action. It is about movement. You're going to move either way. Is this regarding love? You're going to move either way. Action, I said. Love or career, work. I have to... Action. Manifesting details. For some, this could be the trickery aspect, but I don't think so. Not with all these other cards that are around it. I think this is definitely about making something happen. I heard hell or high water. Making it happen come hell or high water. And this is what we are experiencing and I think going through right now. This full moon in Gemini. Making it happen come hell or high water. That decision that was already made. And I said, I wonder if we're going to see the wheel. I wonder if we're going to see the Seven of Swords. Taking what you can carry. You're already on this path. I really, really want to get... There has been this Tower moment. The decision that was made. Again, with the Page of Pentacles. Page of Wands. You knew this. Between the two pillars, a balance here. A higher self called by your higher intuition, your heightened intuition even. You might be really, 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 you might be getting a lot of downloads right now. Truth-seeking. Truth-seeking, the gift that's coming in. You already know this. Is this for... Love or work? For some, it's both. For some, it's both. I can't show you. But we have Lovers and Eight of Pentacles. And it's, for some people, you work with the person. But I think this is the work that has gone into. I think for some, this is absolutely a matter of transitioning, hunkering down into the new year so that you can... Oh, the truth about what has kept you up at night in the morning. So we have King of Swords, Nine of Swords, and the Five of Cups. It's kept you up at night. It's definitely kept you up at night. And you're now set free. That's what I just heard. You're now set free. The World card on the bottom there. It's kept you up at night, the morning period, but you're beyond that. That's where we're at. All right. I normally don't do this. I'm going to do one more thing. What's the most likely outcome? I want my lovey cards here. What's the most likely outcome? For whoever this is for, work and love. Inner self, inner balance, perfect alchemy. Shadows, path, a lot of repeating messages here. For someone, this call to action is because you were supposed to do more than what you've been doing, and you know that. You've been taking your sweet ass time. I'm sorry to say it that way. Whether it comes to work or love, I don't care. Whoever this is for, pick your side here, okay? You've been taking your sweet ass time thinking you have all the time in the world, and you have realized some things have happened and you realize that time waits for nobody. Okay? So if it's about work, you're supposed to be doing more. Meaning there's a higher calling for you. Meaning you were supposed to be moving into this new area, whether it's taking on more responsibility, going into management or a higher level of management, whatever it is. Going back to school is strong for somebody, but you already made that choice. You just haven't acted on it. It's time. Okay? If it's in love, whatever you were waiting for, you don't have that option anymore. Again, I've been saying that strong, and I do feel like that is heavy for the masculine. I feel like the feminine's role in this is to remind the masculine what you're fighting for. That has been coming out a lot. So you can take this moment of rest for this new opportunity, for this new beginning with each other. And now you remind each other. The feminine is really being called to remind the masculine what you're fighting for. And the masculine has to do the heavy lifting on this one. He's tired. It's a lot. It's almost to the finish line. Finish line meaning not the finish, but the beginning. And that's where it gets confusing. But what's the most likely outcome here? That's where I want. Full moon in Gemini. Ooh. We have a cross. Victory. Full moon in Gemini. Victory over the nightmare. The Nine of Swords for this King of Swords. He's got clarity now, and that's where we're at. So we've come to a clarity. And we now know that this was just... oh, I'm so stupid. Sorry. I just thought about this. He's broken out of it. How did I not see that before? He's broken out of it. He's overcome the nightmare. He's overcome the nightmare. Victory, overcoming, King of Swords, sitting in the knowledge, in the truth, what you already knew long before, what's kept you up at night and that you've been stressing about. You're standing strong now. You're standing strong now. So, there's his. Yep, this is the yes. You're standing strong now. The victory is the most likely outcome. You're ready. So if that was your question, am I ready for this? More than. And you knew this. You've been preparing for this a long time. This is above your pay grade. You've had help from the universe the whole time. You have a heightened intuition. You've followed the stars. You're following the stars. You're graduating. So see, a lot of times, the Fool can be like, oh, innocent, because it's the start of the journey, right? But do you know what kind of trust you have to have in yourself and the universe in order to even take this step? And you're doing it. That is graduating. Most likely outcome. And I'm going to say for this Emperor, because this, again, heavy masculine here, this most likely outcome. Most likely outcome. Whoa. I can't believe I've gone this long. We're going to, I'm going to Chariot. If it's meant to come out, let it come back out. Most likely outcome here. Okay. The end and the beginning. You see? Repeating message. Closing out, starting anew. Closing out, starting anew. The most likely outcome. The most likely outcome. And now is the time. Everything you ever wanted. Everything you ever wanted that you didn't even see it, but you knew it. You didn't even see it, but you knew it. Because if you look at her face, she knows. 9 of Cups. One more, please. Most likely outcome. And that's in love. Nine plus 4, 13. Could be the 9 in that sense. Healing all that hurt. Healing all that. Definitely a period of healing. Most likely outcome. Yep. And it is for you. It is such a... Oh. That's beautiful. This Ace of Cups, this healing, this joy, this healing. Remember, I've been saying for a while, you can mourn and be happy at the same time, and I'll tell you why it's beautiful. Because everything you ever desired is what is helping to heal you. And see that moon in the background, see that moon here. You're seeing it now. All of the disappointment, all of the pain, all of the feelings. There's anger, like when we're closing out chapters, whether with another person, whether with a job, whether within ourselves, leaving an old version behind. When we're doing that, there are a lot of mixed emotions. It's not just one, right? This mental, these roses, and it's like, wow, this really did happen. I really did go through this, but this is a 3. This is at the beginning of the swords, right? It's like I really did go through this. Okay, and now I can rest, I can incubate, I can heal this, right? All of these cups around this, yeah. It was the love for self, the love in what you do, the passion that you have for something. There's wands everywhere. It was in that love that you were able to even recognize this pain so that you could heal it. That's what gave you this. It is the cup. It's the big cup. And it is so aha, holy shit moment. And in a sense, like, for this, remember what you're fighting for. Remember what the risk, the fool here, right? Because the most likely outcome out the gate is victory, right? Burn it down. I've got a card that says burn the house down. Don't do that. Don't actually burn anything down. This is spiritual talk, not literal, remember. You got to burn that tower. You got to let it crumble to start anew, called out of the shadows. And again, action for you, sir. Or whoever is in this masculine King of Wands energy. It's time. It is the new beginning. It is the new love. It is the big love. I said that the other day. This is big love. It could be for the job. Yeah, it's big love. It's so big. Lovers. I can't. Lovers and Ten of Cups. It's so big. Like, I want to cry. It's so big, and you know it. And this fear that was keeping you up at night, you are out of that. You are like, yep, this is where you're headed. The most likely outcome. This is what this full moon is doing for you. There's the shadows that you saw, and there is nothing but light and love. Follow the path. Follow the path. I'm done. Cannot believe this reading took that long. Well, I mean, I talked for the first 10 minutes. I talk a lot too. But yeah. A side note for the I'm mixing all my cards here. For the person that this is about work, what you're most passionate about, anything can become work, okay? What you're most passionate about, however, is what allows the work to give you that sense of fulfillment. And for the person that's listening, that was what you were missing for so long. And this authentic way of living that you were looking for, have been looking for, the decision that you made to go into that direction for yourself, that's how you do it. It's through the fulfillment. You're not going to worry about money because money will keep coming. That's been here too. And so long as you're following your heart center in that space, in your work and career, so long as you're following your heart center, you will always be fed. Okay? Somebody is saying, yeah, that's easier said than done. You're right. It is easier said than done. And that is when you will keep repeating cycles. And you'll sit there and be like, oh, like, I got a raise, and you're like, oh, but I still can't afford X, Y, Z. And then you're still going to look around and say, why can't I have this like other people have this? Why can't I do this like other people do this? Well, you can't. Stop thinking about it as it's easier said than done. Actually, it's quite easy to say and do. It will come. Even when you're broke, if you're like, yeah, but I'm not worried about it because I'm still eating. Peter, Paul, Piper, that's an old time saying. You pay a little here, pay a little there, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, but you're not stressing it. And that's the key. You're not stressing it. You're trusting in the universe, that full energy. You've given it up to the stars. You're taking this step anyway. This is where your fulfillment comes in. This is when your cup comes in. This is when the Ten of Cups and the Lovers, where you are joining. 11:11, as I said that, where you are joining togetherness. It's beautiful. Trust in it. Trust in it. It's happening. It's happening whether you like it or not, even. The wheel is moving. All right, I want to do one oracle card. I feel like we need native spirit today for this full moon in Gemini. You need to know what your ancestors are telling you, what your ancestors would like to share. Goddess, God's universe, my guides. What message can we give those that are watching this video for when they're in this wounded warrior state? Because I feel like that's where most of you are right now, in this wounded warrior state. What message can you give for whoever needs it. I heard breathe. And it's funny, because I was telling my love that earlier. Just breathe. Just breathe. And I need to hear it too, but I feel the energy. Just breathe. Goddess, God's universe, what message can we get for this guidance as we go into this new moon and we come out of it, and it's almost time to take that step. It's almost time for that action. Let me see if I can get one good shuffle here. One more try. One card, please. Guidance. We're going to take the one that is up. Flowing river. Y'all have heard me talk a lot today. You don't need to hear me talk too much more. The guidance. The guidance as we go into and out of this full moon in Gemini. Flowing river. Isn't that beautiful? Card meaning. Everything is falling into place because you aren't resisting the drift of the great river of life. It's time to let go. You're entering a period of gracious ease and flow. All is unfolding perfectly and with good timing. When you're in a state of flow, you aren't pushing the river to go faster and you aren't swimming against it. Let go of the shore and enjoy the ride. Trust what I say. Trust. Give it to the stars, the universe. Your native spirit wants you to know rivers have personalities and carry energy just as animals and plants do. Sorry, I'm like, it's just a moment. From all the native cultures throughout the world, it's believed that it's important to listen to the language of the river. If you aren't feeling the smooth currents of life, it might mean that you're trying to control situations or that you're being self-critical or judgmental. The way to move into flow is through gratitude and appreciation and by allowing others to support and help you. Heed the Native American saying, it's best to ride the horse the direction that it's going. This means that when the card Flowing River chooses you, you're being told to let go and go with the flow. If there is something or someone you need to forgive, this is your time. This is also the time to forgive yourself and just let go. The journey. As you shower and the water flows over your body, imagine that everything is flowing in your life. Spend time next to a river or stream and watch the flowing waters. Use it as a metaphor to let go and enter the flow. And I believe that is exactly what we are being called to do with all the energies that are taking place. Let go and go with the flow, this path, the choice that was already made. This is your action. This is your action. Move forward. Knowing that you are being guided and protected. Knowing that we are here together as a collective. Knowing that someone is holding your hand. Let them hold theirs. It's beautiful. Talks later.